Hi all, welcome back to my lecture series. This is Muttamina, Assistant Professor from the Department of Agriculture Engineering at SNS College of Technology. Today we'll see the continuity of a previous session, that is user interface analysis and design under the unit variable rate technology under the subject automation techniques in agriculture engineering for the students of second year fourth semester. We'll have a small review of previous class. What we have seen at the previous class are how well the food process engineering could take place and what are the alternate sources that are available. And also we have seen something about variable rate technology and what is variable rate technology and how does it work and why do we need variable rate technology, what does this do, and how this variable rate technology can increase the farm profitability. Actually, in essence, it limits the effect of variability within the crop production and also it helps us to produce an overall more profitable yield with less input needs. This is what we have seen at the previous class. It usually incorporates the technologies like guidance system and soil mapping so that the mapping of soil individually will cost me more, but here I can have a higher cost saving. This is what variable rate technology does. Okay, so today we'll see how well this variable rate technology could be interpreted, because each and every farmer is not a very big scientist or a researcher. While identifying the data, he can know that okay, this image shows me this much, so this will have a lesser yield, and what I have to do in the sense I have to analyze and give me this soil mapping will make me to do an increased crop production. So no one knows that, right? So it has to be in a very easier way where I have to predict it and solve it, or I have to digitize these data which I have utilized from variable rate technology. So this is where the user interface analysis design plays a major role. So I have been keep on saying that user interface design. Yes, what is user interface design? Actually, it is nothing but a design which creates an effective communication between a human and a computer. Initially, while I was explaining about sensors, I have said that if I am going to give you a command to an electronic device, it will be in a human language, but a computer doesn't know a human language. It has to be processed and digitized into its own language, either by zeros and ones, and then it has to process again so that I can understand the output which the computer has given. So these are some steps where I have to give a input so that I'll get an output. So this input provision and output provision which is displayed in a software. So this software is going to be a user interactive phase. So this user interactive phase will be designed. So this is said to be as user interface design. Okay. So the platform which helps me to create a mode of communication which will act as a medium is said to be as user interface design. So this user interface design usually could be designed with a set of principles. That is, I have to identify the interface objects and actions which creates a screen layout that forms the basis for a user interface prototype. So here I'll give you an example. Everyone is well versed in a paint, right? So if I'm going to draw a picture in a paint, what are the options that will be available? The options and the logo of that options, that is shortcut keys, will be same if I go to any newer version or to an older version, right? So this is how the interface has to be. Even the person is not well versed, the interface has to be designed for a lower user to a higher user. That means I have to predict the users in 3 stages and design them without making any kind of deviation. So if I am well versed in a older version of Paint, it means that I am capable of adopting to the newer version because the icons and the interface will remain same. Only difference is the operation and the principle involved would have been enhanced. That doesn't mean that the icons and the outputs which will be produced could be changed at the near future. So this is how the interface has to be designed. So the interface has to be designed for a newcomer so that every interface remains same. If I'm possible of utilizing a software of the same company, then it is possible for me to work in a software which has been newly developed by that company itself. Mustn't change any icons or operations involved in it for software to software. So the user interface usually has to be easy to handle, and it has to be very easier for me to communicate to them. So this is how this kind of interface analysis and design plays a major role. And this is why it is very important, right? Why it is important? Since the software, what happens in the sense, the variable rate application will analyze the images, but that analyzing images which will give me a result in colorful icons, it is not possible for me to interpret it. If the software is available, what happens in the sense that software will interpret it and give me a output data which will be understandable by any person. So this software has to be very easier to use. If the software is difficult to use, if it forces you into mistakes, or if it frustrates your efforts to accomplish your goals, you won't like it. Obviously, I'm not going to come back to use that software. So I'll go in for utilizing a very easier software while compared to that of this software. So regardless of the computational power it exhibits, the content it delivers or its functionality it offers plays a major role. So the interface has to be right because it molds a user perception of the software. So this is how this user interface analysis and its design is very important. And also I'll show you why do we need these, why do we have to empathize with this kind of analysis, and what we have to do in giving out a very good user interface analysis and a design to a as a solution to the farmer. See you at the next class. If there is any kind of doubt, you guys can approach me anytime so that I'll clear your doubts. Thank you.